Hello, my friends, and welcome back to my channel. It is Wednesday, so it is the day I talk about my weekly weigh-in and the meeting topic. We will get right going with the weigh-in. If you remember, I had 4 amazing weeks of great losses, and then last week I had a little gain. This week I had a little loss. I really wasn't expecting a loss this week. We had 2 nights of cake and pizza, and I'm not talking one little slice of pizza. And we had some cake in there too. So I was mindful of what I was eating. I definitely was mindful, but I ate a little bit more probably than I should have. I used my weeklies, and actually my weeks overlapped a little bit there. And it's all good. I think I didn't use many weeklies because the one pizza night was on Friday, which is a day of fasting for us. So I had a lot of points left. But anyway, I lost 0.2. So I didn't lose the pound I gained, but I lost 0.2 and I'm good with that. So it's a win in my book. Especially, like I said, 2 nights of pizza and cake. And a little bit picky. I think it was last Thursday or Wednesday. I forget which day it was. I was pretty picky. So feeling good about that. Back on track completely. Had a fantastic rest of the weekend, and so far so good on this week. So lost 0.2. So I'm still playing with that. Now, before I wanted to lose 1 extra pound. Now I need to still lose like 2 extra pounds, but it'll happen. I'm not too worried about it. So let's talk weekly topic. What to do when you find yourself in a sticky situation. So they talk about different sticky situations that we may find ourselves in. Running out of smart points, hungry in between meals, if we're off track and ready to hit the reset, or if we are ordering from a restaurant. So what they say, does one of the below scenarios sound familiar? Follow the chart to pick and prep your new go-to food. If you're in a sticky situation of running out of smart points and you're still hungry, especially between meals, they tell you to make your go-to by building around a low or 0 point smart points protein. Think chicken or non-fat Greek yogurt, and add fiber-packed fruit and veggies. I mean, that is definitely the way to do it. Our leader always says, when you run out of points, you stop eating points. Yeah, I know. So it's simple as that, right? Face it, if we are truly hungry, then the non-fat Greek yogurt or the veggies or the chicken is definitely going to fill that hunger void. If you're looking to eat and you're not hungry, you're just bored or something like that, those types of foods are not going to satisfy you because you're not eating for hunger, you're eating for boredom, and you probably want the chips and the cheese and the cakes. So you really need to stop and think about, are you truly hungry? And if you are hungry, then the chicken or the hard-boiled egg or something like that should absolutely satisfy you. And even if you only have a couple points left, you can build around it. Like if you wanted to have a hard-boiled egg and some fruit, you can put a little piece of cheese on there. A half an ounce of cheese is only 2 points. So put that on there. If you have some points left, try to bump it up a little bit, build around those foods. And their tip is to make sure you buy and prep frozen and pantry staples so that you have them when you need them. Now, if you watch my grocery hauls, you know we buy an awful lot of produce, lots and lots of produce. And that's because every day I have a fruit and veggie tray sitting on my counter. Every day it varies. I change up the veggies, I change up the fruit. The only thing I usually don't change up is the ranch dip, because we all like that. It's on my counter every day. So if someone is truly hungry, or even if they're just picky, that is there, and that is within eye shot, and that is the first thing that we reach for, is the fruits and the veggies. And if you're in the mood for a little sweet, then you go for the fruit. If you're in the mood for crunchy, you go for the veggies. Plus, once you start doing this, it feels good because you just feel like you're nourishing your body with what you should be. You're nourishing your body with fresh fruits and vegetables, not processed crackers or processed chips or a processed protein bar or something like that. You're giving your body good fuel. So always have something on hand. Whatever it is you like, have it on hand. I always have hard-boiled eggs. Sometimes I'll put hard-boiled eggs. I'll quarter them and put those on the fruit and veggie tray. Have what you like. Sometimes I put cheese on there. It doesn't always have to be 0 point. I will cut cheese into like quarter ounce pieces, and that's 1 point. So in my head, I know like, I'm gonna allocate like 3 points today for cheese. Or I'm gonna allocate 3 points for nuts because sometimes I'll put a little dish of nuts. Now I don't ever put a big dish of nuts. I have these really tiny little like sauce dishes and I'll use those. And sometimes I'll just put out like a 1/4 ounce of nuts. I'll put out a couple of them, knowing how many points they are and knowing I can grab them and knowing I know the points already. Because trust me, if I had a big bowl of nuts out there, I'm nuts about nuts. That bowl would be gone. I need to portion it. So don't be afraid to pre-portion stuff. Nothing wrong with that. It will keep you on plan. So their next thing, if you're off track and ready to hit reset, using the recipe finder or what's in the fridge on my WW app to find a delicious meal with your favorite lower Smart Point foods. Honestly, I'm not a big fan of the Weight Watcher recipes. There's a couple of them that have been good, but for the most part, I really haven't found ones that I absolutely love. And I've never used that what's in my fridge. I menu plan, I meal plan. So for me, I really don't need that. And when I do meal plan, I try to plan out my day. Like if I know I'm having a little bit of a higher point dinner, I'll make sure to plan my breakfast and lunch accordingly. I'll make sure they're a little bit lower in points. I try, when I menu plan, to figure out the points for the day. Now, is it always perfect? Absolutely not, because we're not perfect. But if it's close, that's why I try to leave a little wiggle room. Like I might plan out 18 points, 19 points worth of meals, and then I have that little bit of wiggle room if I do want or need a snack, or if something comes up, or if I have a serving and a half of something. That's how I do it, and it really, truly helps. And it says, if you can't find the exact Smart Point values for a specific dish, make an educated guess based on one similar. And that's something else that my WW workshop coach always says. Give it something. Don't just say, well, I don't know what it is, so I'm just not going to count it. Give it something. If you are out at a restaurant that's not on the app, you're at like a little mom and pop diner and you get chicken parmesan. That little mom and pop diner is not going to be on the app. But pull up Olive Garden, pull up Carrabba's, pull up anything that you can find a chicken parm. And 9 out of 10 times, the points are going to range from like 5 to 25. I pick a happy medium. I say, you know what, I'm going to give that 15 points. Or if I know it was baked, I'm going to give that 10 points. If I know it was fried, I'm going to give that 20 points. So you can always give it something based on an educated guess. If it's fried, you need to give it more points. If it is so covered with cheese you can't even cut through it, you're going to have to give it more points. So really, really try and give it the best educated guess that you can. Now, if it was really 30 points and you gave it 15, is that going to completely derail you and make you gain a ton of weight? It's not. One messed up meal is not going to undo everything. One messed up meal, unless it's like the morning of or the day before weigh-in, is not going to ruin your weigh-in. Now, a couple, I had a couple nights of pizza, that might cause a little issue on the weigh-in. But one meal is not going to completely derail you. You just can't let that one meal put you into a downward spiral. Just eat it, track it, and move on. Whether it was right, whether it was wrong, it was tracked and you have moved on from it. Just make sure you're not going out the next day and doing the same thing and the next day doing the same thing. So just try to give it something, best educated guess. Then their last thing is ordering from a restaurant. Deciding how many smart points you want to spend and then scanning the menu options before you go is a great tool. Use the restaurant finder in the WW app for ideas. If you're going to a chain restaurant, there are so many in there, or you can look up the restaurant and get the nutritional info and work into the calculator like that. There's a lot of different ways to do it. Once again, best guess. I was shocked, like we were going to Applebee's one night because we were bringing the, coming home from taking the boys back to school, and it was, I think, in August, and it was nice, and you know, we're doing outdoor dining. So we knew we were going to hit Applebee's. We knew they had outdoor dining, and it was right on the way home. So I pulled up the app, and a couple things that I thought about, I was shocked to see how high the points were. But the meal I had, the points were ridiculously low, and it was wonderful. So always look things up. You may surprise yourself sometimes. And if you can't, like I said, if you can't find the smart points, make a best educated guess. And back when we were off track and hit reset, I kind of got off tangent there. I didn't tell you what their pro tip was. Probably because I think it's a little... Set your table and the scene like a restaurant to help add excitement back to getting on track. I don't do that. I mean, we set the table every night with placemats and cloth napkins and real plates and stuff like that anyway. So to me, that's not like a big deal. But if it is for you, then do it. For me, it's just meal planning and knowing what I'm going to eat. And I get excited about the food. Like somebody's like, I could never meal plan because I never know what I feel like eating. I get that a lot. And that's fine. If you know that about you, that's fine. Everybody's reality is different. But for me with meal planning, I know I get excited, like really excited about what we're going to have. Like I'm already looking to next week. Like I cannot wait to have Maryland crab soup. Like my mouth is watering for it. And like tonight, you know, we're having cheesy beef skillet. I can't wait. It's delicious. It's comfort food. It's pasta. It's cheese. I love it. And I'm excited. I've been excited about it for a week when I wrote down my menu last week. So for me, it works. Like get excited about the food you're going to eat. If you are not excited about your food, you are not going to last on this program. I try to drive that home, especially on my Facebook group all the time. The menu planning one. You know, people... I'm so bored of baked chicken and steamed veggies. Well, then why the heck are you eating baked chicken and steamed veggies? I'd get bored of it after one time. Don't be afraid to sauce things up. Don't be afraid to air fry something. Don't be afraid to grill something. Don't be afraid to marinate something. You don't have to eat boring just because you're on a weight loss journey. If you watch my What I Eat in a Day videos, you know that. Because I guarantee you, if you are not eating what you love and loving what you eat, you are not going to last. Or if you lose the weight, you're going to gain it back because you're going to miss that food and you're going to go back to it with a vengeance. Lighten things up, eat within your points, and eat the good stuff. Trust me. Trust me on that. Yep. And I'm even happier since we ditched all the processed food. I really am. I really fought it for a little bit, and I thought, okay, how am I going to survive with 2 teaspoons of syrup on my pancakes instead of a 1/4 cup of sugar-free that I can have for 0 points? I'm using 2 teaspoons of real syrup for 2 points. Not going to work. Guess what? Newsflash, it works. Because it tastes better and because it satisfies you more. Just like my homemade bread. Yep, I'm giving up 2 points per slice now instead of 1 point per slice. Doesn't matter. It fills me and it satiates me. And I'm not looking for more food to eat. It's funny, I had given some soup and a loaf of bread to my niece, And she texted me the other day because she had it for dinner, and she's like, you are so right. She was eating that homemade bread. I am stuffed. She goes, I'm not looking for anything else. She goes, so much better than the light bread. She goes, because I would still be looking for more. So really decide on what you want to eat and do it. If you're good with all the other stuff, then do it. Everybody's journey is different, and I'm not here to tell you how to do it. I'm just here to tell you how I do mine and what works for me and what I have learned in this 2.5 years. You know, hindsight's 2020. I wish I knew then what I know now, because the beginning of my journey probably would have been very different. But it's all a learning curve, and we all have to learn, and we all have to take what we want and leave the rest behind, because for yourself, there is no right and there is no wrong. And that was a little tangent. So it says, let's dive a little deeper. Raise your hand if your morning meal is filled with regular routines, the same cup of joe and yogurt with fresh fruit every day. Just like it's great to have regulars in your rotation, it could be helpful to have go-tos for making healthy choices in tricky situations. Even better, those foods can and should be ones you actually enjoy and prefer. Just like I just said, it's one thing to eat the same things over and over because they're low points, they're 0 points, but you're gonna get bored. Mix it up. Mix it up. My mornings are far from, the only thing routine about my morning is my exercise, my morning routines in my homemaking, and my cup of tea. Everything else, not routine, because we have pretty much a different breakfast every stinking morning, and it's wonderful. So that is what they talk about this week, doing what works for us and little tips and tricks to help us. The recipe this week is a bubble up. It's loading. It is a pepperoni pizza bubble up. Now, theirs is done in a 10-inch cast iron skillet. 10-inch skillet is not very big, and they cut it into 6 pieces. I'd have to have a really big salad with that to make that satisfy me. And it's 7 points on the green plan and 6 on blue and 6 on purple. I'm not really sure why it's so high, but that's not a very big portion. And if I'm having this for dinner, I need more food than that. So yeah, you might be able to, I don't know, work it out a little bit for you. So that is my weigh-in and my meeting topic. And I have one more thing to tell you. You know, every once in a while, I like to switch things up. I like to shake it up. And I'm shaking it up again. Switching back to purple for about a week or 2. Now, just because I'm switching back to purple, I still give you the points for every plan when I do my full day of eating and when I do my menus. And honestly, I really don't eat purple centric when I'm on purple. You know, even on blue, we still have potatoes or rice or sweet potatoes constantly and lots of pasta. So none of that changes. It's just, it's more of a mental change for me. And even though, you know, I was on blue, we're still eating brown rice and whole wheat pasta anyway, just because that's what we want to do now, or homemade pasta. So even on purple, if I don't make homemade pasta, I'll eat whole wheat. On blue, if I don't eat whole wheat, I'll eat homemade pasta. So nothing's really gonna change except for me. I just have to count a little bit different. So I will still give the points and everything, and my meals aren't really gonna be purple centric. So, but I just wanted to let you know that I was switching to purple for a couple weeks just to kind of shake things up a little bit, because I like doing that once in a while. So thank you for watching. Sorry, this got a little bit long. Yeah, I know, it always does. Have a fantastic Wednesday, and let me know in the comments below how your weigh-in went this week. Let me know what plan you're on. Let me know if you switch up like I do. The only plan I've never switched to is green, because I just don't have a desire. So have a great day, and I will talk to you all very soon.